Hey guys, it's Natalie from natsnumbers, and in today's video I'm addressing the topic, how do I deal with or use anger, the amazing penetrative emotion that can get us all mucked up. Hold on. Okay, I thought it was the Mormons. They're showing up to my house every week now, and I've told them, I'm like, you realize I am a lost cause. It is not happening here, okay? And they keep coming back, and they're actually really nice guys. We have cool philosophical conversations. Granted, they're delusional, but anyway. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because when I see a theme going on with my clientele, I want to immediately come share it with you guys. If they are experiencing it, I know you are also. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the basic sort of topics that we cover with anger in a coaching session in the hopes that you'll be able to get the ball rolling and begin to utilize it as a tool. All right, so I'm going to make a bit of a gender bias here. Yeah, it is totally a generalization, but the men in my life, and it might just be a coincidence that they have penises, okay, but the men in my life seem to all be friends with anger. They're buddies, and anger is something that they feel comfortable feeling. But for me and a lot of the women in my life, we feel a bit more uncomfortable. Like sadness and melancholy, I'm best friends with sadness, okay? Like I can sit and dwell in it and write poetry and, you know, really hang out there. But anger, I always feel like a chicken with my head cut off, and I don't know what direction to go in or what to do with it. So if you relate to that, then this video is for you. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be sharing with you how we evaluate anger, evaluate this emotion through numerology. So there's 3 different numbers that we can get from one word. One number is basically when we add that word down to a single digit. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that right now. When we add anger down to a single digit, we get the number 9. And this is so perfect. If you guys have watched my forecast video for March, you probably already are getting an understanding of what anger is meaning for you right now. 9 represents in numerology the archetype of the visionary, but it's also the end of a cycle. So in numerology, we go through 9-month, 9-year, 9-day cycles. And so when we hit that, it's a time of accomplishment and reward, but it's also a time of cleansing and detoxing. So first, right off the bat, if you are angry about something, it's a sign that it's time to let go and cleanse some old stuff out, okay? So there's this amazing life coach named Martha Beck, and she likens anger to the immune system in the physical body. So she says that anger is basically, it shows up when there's an invader that's come into your life experience that's threatening your well-being. So just like cleansing, just like detoxing at the end of a cycle, you also need to sort of recognize that anger is this beautiful emotion that's showing up when you need to address something that's come up into your experience. So I'm going to give you a tool for the number 9 and how to start to use this archetype to cleanse things out. Number 9 is not only about cleansing, but it represents perfection. And so when we get angry, oftentimes it's because deep down we have this expectation or ideal of how the world should be, and we're incredibly disappointed and feel a deep sense of loss when other people, other situations, or even our own self doesn't meet those expectations. So what is so important to understand is that perfection doesn't exist, okay? It doesn't. It's an ideal that we seek out and we search for. And the 9, because it goes right back to 0 in numerology, the 9 is sort of seeking out the 0. It's seeking out that source, seeking out the unlimited. So it's this number of idealisms and fantasies and dreams and this utopian version of how the world should be. But here's the real kicker. When you experience this disappointment that things aren't the way they're supposed to be, when you have that immune system response to something is in my experience that doesn't meet my ideals, this is what it's really telling you. It's telling you that when other people aren't meeting your expectations, that it's only further proof that you need to be a leader and show up for what you believe in. Now, I know that seems like really kind of fanatical and weird, that if somebody's treating you bad and insulting you, that it's further proof that you need to be a benevolent, kind, and generous person. But that's essentially what the 9 is teaching. Okay, it doesn't mean negating or prostituting yourself or anything like that, but it just means that whenever this anger comes up, it's a further sign that your presence and your vision for how things should be is more needed than ever in the world. Step up to the plate. So here's your first little action step, and it's going to sound kind of weird, but it's really impactful. The 9 teaches that you need to go out there and help somebody right now. Okay, so you need to take what you're upset about and use it as fuel and fodder. So I want you to call up somebody that is having a difficult time. I want you to go onto a chat forum and find somebody that's upset. I want you to find a way to go out there and help somebody. Even if it's just opening up the door at the post office or whatever it might be, I want you to make it your goal to help and serve and embody that vision and that ideal that you have that was not fulfilled in this situation that you're angry about. All right. So let's get into the next number that we calculate, and this is when we calculate all the consonants in anger, and this gives us the overall personality trait of this emotion. So the personality of emotion is the 3, the archetype of the artist, and this is so perfect because when somebody gets, anger is something that's very overt and it's very expressive. It's one of those emotions that is very difficult to hold in, right? There's other emotions that we can hold in for quite some time, but anger is not one of them. So the artist archetype at first blush seems to teach us that we need to just express ourselves and get our emotions out there and communicate it. But the archetype of the artist is actually teaching that what we express, we create. So here is the second thing that I want you to consider to do. I want you to get that emotion out of your body. All right. Now, if you are not a talented, expressive person with art or singing or dancing, it doesn't matter, okay? What matters is that you just get it out. So I want you to turn on music, I want you to dance to something that you resonate with that really makes you feel so good and makes you feel so powerful and so at ease, okay? I want you to draw or write a letter to the person or to yourself that you're upset about. But in other words, just find a way to get that emotion out. Here is the caveat, okay? Because the 3 really urges us to express ourselves, there's going to be a tendency to point the finger at other people, even if they are in the wrong, okay? To point the finger at other people. And the principle of the 3 teaches that what you express, you create. So you want to make sure that whatever you're expressing, it's being expressed from a foundation of joy and a foundation of pleasure and beauty. So I want you to make sure that you're not expressing hatred and being vengeful and being hateful about what's coming out, because that's literally like putting that right in front of you and it's coming up in your experience and it's poison to yourself, okay? So express yourself is what the anger teaches you, but you need to make sure that you're expressing by finding that deep well within of goodness and joy, and then you get to that place. Okay, the last thing is an epiphany. It's a total epiphany and also a complete cliche at the same time. When you take the vowels of an emotion and you add it down, you get the motivating yearning of that emotion. So the motivating factor of anger is the number 6, the archetype of the lover. Now, this is basically saying that deep down what's really going on is that you don't feel loved, you don't feel nourished, you don't feel nurtured. Now, that for most people goes right over their heads or right through their ears because we hear it so often. Love yourself, right? Love is the answer, all of these things. And believe me, I'm one of those people that's like, it's just, it's used so often that we don't really hear it anymore. But I really need you to hear that. With anger, love is a deep, deep component of why it is showing up over and over again and why you can't kick it, okay? You need to figure out how in this circumstance or situation to love yourself. You need to figure out how to use this as a catalyst to respond to your own personal needs and to respond to what you want to commit to, and to really allow that to sink in. This is about nourishing yourself and finding a way to do that. So I hope that some of these principles helped. If you have any further questions about anger or any other emotions or physical imbalances that you want me to evaluate, please comment and rate the video and let me know what you think. I hope it helped, and I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.